I think so. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Kids will often try things that they're averse to when they have an opportunity to help prepare it.
$47,000 has netted 34 of these AEDs, which are now in all the vehicles.
Signs of congestive heart failure. Now we have an option for those patients.
Well, for most of this week, we're going to be dealing with some very cold temperatures, especially on Wednesday. We'll show you that forecast. It's all coming up.
You're watching WOW 6 News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Tabitha Mills. Winter has finally hit Lawrence as temperatures continue to fall. Let's go to Rick Catsby with the first look at weather. Hey, Rick.
First Weather is brought to you by Allied Auto Body CarStar.
Yeah, Tabitha, right now temperatures are pretty mild with mostly cloudy skies. We're going to see begin the drop in temperatures later on tomorrow night, probably about this time, with north winds and maybe even some snowfall. Currently 21 degrees. It feels like 15 with south winds at 5 miles per hour, humidity 68%. Around the region, we're seeing some light snows over parts of Iowa today, now exiting northeastern parts of Missouri. Nothing upstream for now, but that could change by about this time tomorrow night with some very light snow that could enter the area. This is mostly cloudy skies, believe it or not, with a low dropping down to around 19. Another blip in our computer, but it looks like not so cold tonight, but the cold air once again returns as we go into Wednesday, and we'll stop that for now and go back to you, Tabitha.
I like it. It looks like mostly cloudy skies to me. That's what I thought.
Crazy.
All right, thanks, Rick. Well, the Lawrence Police Department meets a goal more than 2 years in the making today. This morning, the Lawrence Police Foundation presented the department with the final AEDs to help it reach its goal of having an AED in every patrol car. The total of 34 AEDs cost about $47,000. Chief Tarek Khatib says it's money well spent.
Police officers are often in the position of first responder for major medical incidents. AEDs used to be a little more complicated 5 or 6 years ago. They're very, very simple now. They talk to you. They have interchangeable parts. So the training and how we go ahead and use those is much easier.
The Lawrence Police Foundation includes citizens who want to help the police department achieve its equipment and training goals. A Kansas judicial panel slams how the state funds public schools. They criticize that the state relies on local money to supplement funding for public schools. Schools started tapping into their local option budgets to cover general expenses. That budget is usually a way to cover extra expenses. The panel says the state needs to boost funding for the students. Recycling your Christmas tree is a great way to give back to nature. The city of Lawrence is picking up trees this week to help create cozy homes for small critters just right outside of Lawrence. 6 News reporter Amina Smith shares how local residents are using their trees to benefit the environment.
With the holiday season officially coming to a close, many are wondering what to do with their Christmas trees. The City of Lawrence Solid Waste Management Division has your answer. Officials are encouraging all residents to recycle their live-cut trees and give back to the environment.
This seems to be the most useful form for us to, we don't have to landfill it. We don't have to take any time to process it at our facility, our compost facility, and we can just bring them right out here.
Putting these trees back into the environment helps create homes for some local furry friends.
Put a natural habitat back out here for the smaller critters to get in and get out of the weather. So kind of a reuse before it degrades down and becomes back part of the system.
Craig Prudd also says removing artificial decorations is critical before putting your tree out to be recycled.
It's important to make sure that we get all of the tinsel, all of the wrappings, so we don't have any of that in here or blowing out along this natural environment.
Although officials have noticed an annual decline in recycled trees, they're hoping to change that this year.
Participation our first week was just right about 400, and we hope to double that this week. We have seen a decline in the last few years, though, in trees that people have brought out, actually, so bring to the curbside.
Amina Smith, 6 News.
And the option to recycle your tree not only benefits animals, but also the environment, serving as mulch, soil erosion barriers, and even bird feeders. The amount of storm damage in 2014 in Kansas last year is the lowest in 16 years. The Kansas Insurance Commissioner's Office says insurance companies received reports of more than $112 million in storm damage claims last year. This was the 3rd consecutive year storm damages totals declined. The National Weather Service reported 40 tornadoes in Kansas last year, its lowest total since 1989. At News Tonight at 10, more than 22 million Americans of all ages are affected by asthma. It can be dangerous for asthmatics who don't properly take care of themselves, and winter brings its own set of triggers. Holly Furfer has the details.
I'm good. Feel good. No complaints.
Good.
Gail Richardson is breathing easier these days now that she has her asthma under control. But certain things trigger her condition, especially this time of year.
I have more issues with asthma in the winter time because of the colds and flu virus that are floating around. If I get something like that, it will definitely have a stronger effect on me.
This is common in people with chronic lung conditions, says Dr. Stanley Feynman.
Because the asthmatic has airways that are very hypersensitive. They're already inflamed. So the virus does more damage in the asthmatic patients than they would do in somebody who doesn't have asthma.
Inflamed and swollen lungs can make it difficult to breathe. To minimize attacks during winter, Dr. Feynman offers advice to patients. Most importantly, know your triggers. Cold air can exacerbate the condition, as can windy weather. But also stay on long-term control medication. Remember indoor irritants too, things like smoke, scented candles, and fireplaces. He recommends a flu shot for everyone with the condition. And his final tip to keep healthy could be the simplest.
Good hand washing and good hygiene is also important.
And News Tonight at 10, University of Kansas Hospital has a new way to repair heart valves without requiring open heart surgery. Instead, it uses a device called a Mitra clip. The procedure is less invasive. It's a metal clip inserted into the heart through a blood vessel in the leg. Doctors say they're excited to be the first in the region to offer the procedure.
It gives us an opportunity for patients who were previously considered high risk and might not have been operated on and just have been managed medically, who keep coming back to the hospital with symptoms and signs of congestive heart failure. Now we have an option for those patients.
Again, that's the Mitra clip, and Wiley says recovery time for the procedure is about 1 week with a 2 to 3 day hospital stay. It's the first Monday of the new year, and for many folks here hoping to eat healthier in 2015, there's even some unlikely suspects, plus a recipe for saving green while eating green when 6 News at 10 continues.
Plus a major upset tonight in night 1 of Big 12 Conference play. I am Andrew Baker, and I'll have all those highlights from Austin, Texas coming up later in sports.
Local news, weather, and sports from your community. You're watching WOW 6 News. 6 News is brought to you by Natural Breeze Professional Remodelers. Have a news tip? Call 6 News at 832-NEWS. The Market Update is brought to you by Pods Discount Carpet.
Well, you probably wouldn't believe it if I told you, but when I asked dozens of children for their New Year's resolutions, about 90% of them said to eat healthy. So I talked to a few local experts who have some tips on how you can help your children fulfill their resolution and eat healthy. When it comes to eating healthy, it's a challenge for most, and when it comes to kids, it's even harder. But parents, listen up. There are a few tricks to the trade that will help your family meet and keep those New Year's resolutions of eating healthier.
When they come home from school, have a healthy snack ready for them, and that would be, for example, some fruit, some vegetables with hummus dip, a few nuts if kids aren't allergic to nuts, maybe a smoothie made with low-fat dairy.
Anderson says most importantly, try to stay away from processed snacks.
Things that come in a bag or a can, such as potato chips or some of those fruit snacks.
And if you're thinking, no way will my child ever touch anything green, think again. I asked local kid chef, Chef Jasmine, who's famous at the White House for her culinary skills, for a few tips on vegetables and fruits and how to get kids to like them. Are you ready to go shop?
Yes. Okay, so one of the fruits you can buy are apples, because they're healthy to eat alone, but you can also try them in many other things. Smoothies with bananas with peanut butter. It tastes sticky but good. I like having carrots with dressing, just ranch, and vegetables. It's healthy. You can eat it like broccoli and cheese or something. Just try it.
And the final tip from Chef Jasmine, cook together as a family. And Anderson agrees.
Kids will often try things that they're averse to when they have an opportunity to help prepare it.
Well, want to eat right and still keep your wallet healthy? Well, you can eat better on a budget with these 4 simple tips. Buy in season. Buying fruits and vegetables in season can lower costs. Cook all at once and prepare your favorite recipes on your day off, then eat them throughout the week. The third, buy in bulk. Smart, frugal choices in family packs, whether it's meat or vegetables. And lastly, eat green and save green. Vegetables are low-cost options all year. As for fruits, apples are always less expensive. Don't you agree? You like some apples?
I do like apples.
I'm a
Apples
big
and peanut
fan.
butter, good.
Yes.
And that's kind of healthy.
Apples and
right?
cheese is kind of healthy. Apple pie, maybe not so. Apple fritters,
Maybe not
definitely
so
not
much.
as
Yeah.
not as healthy.
Yeah, but some good tips from the little girl you went shopping with. And,
It was a lot of fun.
You know?
She's a smart little cookie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Let's talk about our weather. It's getting colder.
Yeah, weather-wise, it looks like it's going to be, we got a couple of fronts passing through tomorrow. One in the morning, and the second one right behind it will bring in some very cold air and maybe even a chance for snow. We'll show you that in the forecast. Coming up next, our high today made it to 25. We were not that warm, but even 25 felt better than it did this morning when it was only 4 degrees. For the rest of this almanac, here's tonight's KidCast.
The record high was 67 degrees in 2012. The record low was 10 degrees in 1940.
Kids, register to be a KidCaster at Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine with 2 locations, 346 Main Street and 4824 Quail Crest Place.
weather, brought to you by McDonald's of Lawrence.
Welcome back. Cold start this morning. We warmed up okay today, back in the middle 20s, but 2 cold fronts tomorrow will drop our temperatures. One, first thing in the morning. We may start the morning out mild, like around 19, 18 or so, drop quickly in the morning hours, and then the second one comes in tomorrow night, and that'll drop temperatures further for Wednesday. Here's a look at it. This is the next several days, and the average high, the normal high temperature for this time of year is at 39, and you can see we don't quite get there. We get close. Temperatures are right around 37 degrees as we go into Saturday with some breezy conditions. Otherwise, it's going to be cold through the weekend, especially, look at Wednesday, high temperature only around 7. That's an afternoon temperature. And so we'll talk more about that, how that's going to play out as we go into Wednesday forecast coming up. Okay, so we had some snow showers today, some pretty good snows over parts of Iowa today. Des Moines had 5 inches. That system now moving off toward the southeast. It did clip northern parts of Missouri. Nothing for us tonight, but we're going to be watching a system that's back to the north and west that'll begin to give us a chance for some light snows. Looks like late tomorrow night about this time. Some very light snow, probably not much accumulation. Today's high temperature 25, so that's cold, but not so cold as it was this morning. Now we're down at only 21, so temperature staying a little warmer tonight thanks to a west wind. Matter of fact, look at the current temperature in Denver. 53 right now in Denver. They reached the mid-60s in western parts of eastern parts of Colorado out here thanks to a westerly wind blowing across the state, keeping temperatures up a little for tonight. So that's a little bit of good news. There's the west winds, south winds here, northwest back in Kearney, and then the cold front is back over in here, northern parts of Nebraska, dropping temperatures down behind the front. Clouds in motion, showing you a lot of clouds over Kansas, not making it very far south. There's that system that's moving across parts of Chicagoland this hour. And there's our chance for some light snow right here, this area right there, that could drop into the area by late tomorrow. So by late tomorrow afternoon, some light snow or light snow showers over parts of Nebraska. This is really a very light event, scattered light snows. No accumulation expected with the system passing off toward the southeast. There's the second front tomorrow late day. It'll pass south of us, and then by midnight or late evening, around 10 to midnight or so, there should be an area of light snow over northeast Kansas, very patchy light snow with about a dusting of accumulation expected. Otherwise, north winds and colder temperatures. How cold? 7 degrees your high temperature on Wednesday. That'll be afternoon temperatures. We should actually drop quickly Wednesday night to below 0 before we even get to midnight Wednesday. And then temperatures will begin to rebound Thursday with southwest winds, high temperature 32, 18 on Friday, and then back to near maybe 40 by Sunday. So all in all, cold week. It's cold, windy. You know it is. It's just
bundle
not
up
much
and
snow.
hope for the best. This is the first time we've been in the negative?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been to 3 so far, the coldest so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
New year, it's a new record.
Below
Let's go
0.
for it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Yeah. Well, middle school drama, theater drama, that is. See how some kids stage their last days of winter break. That's next.
Select Warn Radar is brought to you by Niehoff Dunko.
Some area teens spent their last day of winter break at Theater Lawrence today. The organization offers special schools out theaters and classes on school holidays this winter. At today's workshop, middle schoolers learned about the art of performing with masks and other props, and then they practiced their improvisation skills.
It helps your brain work a little more because improv is just like, do this now. You don't have time to plan it and you just go with it, and it's so cool, the results. Or it's either really bad.
And Bella is in middle school right now, and she says she wants to major in theater and drama in college. She thinks these activities are a fun way to spend time off. I think any time out of school is probably fun for most kids.
Absolutely, the longer the better. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Kansas. They're preparing for a Big 12 play this week.
Yeah, it begins on Wednesday at Baylor. Coach Self saying yesterday after the win that this might be the toughest run that KU has had since he's been here to win the Big 12. A lot of teams ranked in the top 25. After a solid win over UNLV on Sunday, the Kansas men's basketball team now prepares for a date in Waco. We'll check in with head coach Bill Self for the latest coming up. Plus, speaking of Big 12 play, Big Monday was alive and well tonight from Austin. Texas and Oklahoma locking up. Highlights from the Lone Star State. After this.
They've got numbers. Here comes Heel with the left hand.
Sports is brought to you by Laird Noller Automotive.
Well, welcome back to sports, everyone. When the season began, the two biggest newcomers for the Kansas men's basketball team were freshman McDonald's All-Americans Kelly Oubre and Cliff Alexander. Now, with Kansas being on the cusp of conference play, the responsibility level is about to skyrocket for the pair of underclassmen. 13 games in, and it's been Oubre that has risen to the forefront the quickest. The Las Vegas native is averaging 7 points and 4 rebounds a game, but has scored over 20 in 2 out of his last 4. As for Cliff, head coach Bill Self believes it's only a matter of time for the big freshman to step up.
And now a 3. You talk about, Kelly and Cliff, which is true. Very young and all that, but hey, Frank's not old. And certainly, we need Perry playing his best, and we need everybody. Yesterday.
Next up, the Jayhawks and the Baylor Bears tip off on Wednesday night at 8. You can see it live on Wild Channels 35 and 235. Meanwhile, the Jayhawks are up 1 spot from 13 to 12 in this week's Associated Press College men's basketball poll. Kentucky is still number 1, followed by Duke, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa State, and Baylor are all ranked from the Big 12. Well, let's head to Austin, where tonight Big 12 play was off and running. 16th ranked Oklahoma on the road taking on number 10 Texas. Picking up first half, Texas down 10, and Isaiah Taylor there with the spot 3. He had 9. OU lead is 7. A little bit later, Taylor into the lane, loses the handle. Buddy Hield back the other way. He had 13. Sooners by 13. More from Boomer Sooner inside. Tayshawn Thomas. And more from OU a little bit later. Ryan Spangler going to fire. He connects. Texas, 14 points at halftime. OU blows the doors off tonight. Your final, check it out, 70-49. OU faces Kansas State this Saturday. Well, and finally tonight, Jamari Traylor goes coast to coast. The Free State High basketball team opens the new year with a win, and Jim Mora gives the cold shoulder to a college football legend. Kevin Romery has the latest edition of the top 6 plays of the week.
Let's start this week's countdown in Tempe, Arizona. That is where Oklahoma State did its best to salvage a rough bowl season for the Big 12. On Friday night, the Cowboys clubbed Washington in the Cactus Bowl. That victory completed a 2-5 bowl season for the one Major 5 conference that got left out of the national championship tournament. Up next at number 5, Bonnie Henriksen and the Kansas women's basketball team doing their part to improve the Lawrence community. Last week, the Jayhawks hosting their annual holiday clinic for parents and kids. More than 200 Hoops fans taking part in that event. At number 4, the Kansas State football team almost pulls off a come-from-behind win thanks to a soccer-style onside kick. Freshman kicker Matthew McCrane attempting a Rabona with the Cats trailing UCLA by 5 with less than 2 minutes remaining. KSU did not recover the kick, but it is worth another look. Up next at number 3, the Free State High boys basketball team gets 2015 started on the right foot. On Friday night, the Firebirds knocking off Kansas City East 65-21. The win improves the Firebirds' record to 3-1. Justin Narcomi led a balanced attack for head coach Chuck Law's team with 12. On now to number 2, and what a strange way to end a college football bowl game. Jim Mora's team had just beaten Big 12 foe Kansas State in the Alamo Bowl. The UCLA head coach, however, he wasn't happy, so he brushed off the Manhattan legend with this quick handshake. Later, Mora indicated on Twitter that he was protecting his players, a possible reference to the final play of the game when the KSU defense jumped the line of scrimmage to try and force a fumble. And at number 1, the Kansas.
Thank you, Kevin. Texas blown out tonight. Who saw that coming? Could be the
One
year.
person behind
could be the year of, yeah, and that's just because he's betting with his heart, not his head. Could be the year of Boomer Sooner.
It could be. All right, thanks, Andrew. Well, if you are already over your New Year's resolution to eat healthy, here's hoping not. But a national organization is offering New Temptations, the dessert delights that will suit your sweet tooth. That's next. New tonight at 10, the Girl Scouts are debuting 3 new cookie varieties this season, including 2 gluten-free cookies. Toffee-tastic is a buttery cookie with toffee bits. The Trios is a cookie with real peanut butter, chocolate chips, and whole grain oats. And Rah Rah Raisin is an oatmeal raisin cookie with Greek yogurt flavored chunks. They could have just stopped at like toffee and oatmeal raisin. And
I think they should bring them here. Let us try them just to be sure.
That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great night.